Hi guys, welcome to Taste Like Home. I am your pro cook Tolo. This is episode 17, season 2, and today I'm joined by my lovely mother who's a qualified chef, and today we'll be recreating some of her meals she had on Christmas Day during her childhood. Today we've got roasted garlic and herb grilled chicken, deep fried fish, dumpling, chakalaka, potato salad, savory pumpkin and spinach, and in our desserts we've got custard tarts as well as mousse tarts. Mom, are we ready to cook?
We are good to go.
Before we start cooking, today's episode is proudly sponsored by Grinder Coffee.
We are now going to rub our chicken with rustic garlic and herb seasoning, and we're gonna put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we are done with the seasoning, we are now gonna put it onto the grilling pan.
Now our chicken is ready to be popped into the oven for about 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Once that is done, we're going to put on our spring onions as well as our chili salsa, and then we're going to pop it back into the oven for about 15 minutes.
Okay. Chicken is looking good, nice and brown.
At this point, you don't want it to be completely grilled, you just want it to be browned on the outside. So you're basically marinating with the salsa, chili salsa.
Okay, now that I'm done with the secret chili mix, I'm applying the spring onions. So now we're gonna take it back for 15 minutes. It should be done, ready to go.
Alright, let's go then.
Okay. Our chicken is done out of the oven. So I'm gonna put it back into the casserole just for serving purposes.
Okay.
Chicken done. Now it's your turn.
Okay, we're going to get with the fish now. And now we are back and it's time to make the fish. I'll be taking over with the fish because my mom always prefers the fish that I've made, so I always make sure that it tastes divine. What I do is I mix my flour, just about a cup or half a cup rather, and about a half a cup of your breadcrumbs. You're going to mix that together. Now what we do is that we're going to have 2 eggs as well as just about a half a cup of milk. We're going to mix that together. Of course, we have our fish spice. So basically what I want is I want to have my spice in between the actual coating and the fish, not on the outside. Done, and then we're going to dump it in here. Now that is done, we put it back into our flour. Extra coating, so you see that I'm really just putting more flour, so that we've got that crunchiness. So mother, let me just do this. Now, just be careful when you're dealing with oil, you want to turn it nicely. And now my fish is done. So with the fish, what I'm going to add at the end is that creamy garlic sauce that I always add, and then we're going to have slices of lemon. Now that we're done with our 2 proteins, it's time to start with our starches, and I'm going to be mixing the dumpling. So what we're going to have is about a cup and a half of warm water, not hot, warm. Then we're going to have 2 cups of flour. This is not self-raising flour, so I'm going to add yeast to it. Then here I've mixed a tablespoon of brown sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of yeast. We're going to just add this to our flour. We're going to gradually add our water to the flour. If you're going to rush it, you're going to make a mess of it. Thank you. Make sure that it combines well. You take it out and we're going to knead it. You need to do this for at least about 5 to 10 minutes. Now that you're done kneading your dough, it's going to look like this, nice and fluffy. We're going to put it back into our bowl. and your bowl must be greased with butter or oil, and you should do. We're going to put it back in. Then we're going to cover this with cling wrap, and we're going to put it either in the sun, or if you've got the luxury of a steamer that raises dough, you're more than welcome to do that. We're going to do this for about an hour, and then we're going to bring it back in, and then we're going to knead again for another 5 minutes, put it back out again for another 30 minutes. After that, we knead and we are ready to steam. Now we are back and our dough is ready. So now we're going to take it out. You'll literally see it is just it's clay-like right at the moment. What I'm going to use teacups that I'm going to put into our steamer, and then I'm going to put it in there for about 45 minutes. Always remember, where you're going to put your dough in before you steam it, you need to always grease that. So let's get that done first before we put it into our steamer. So just going to do this. Okay, now that we're done with this, we're going to get our dough again. Then we're going to just make small balls. So there you have it. Now we're going to put our dumplings into our steamer. Our dumpling is ready after a good 45 minutes. Remember, I said to you guys, I'm going to show you a trick on how to check if your dumpling is completely ready. So what you're going to do is take a toothpick, stick it into your dumplings, and if it comes out with nothing, you know that you've done a great job and your dumpling is well cooked. So after taking them out of the cup, you're going to let them cool just for a few minutes so that they are well rested and that you also don't burn your fingers. Now we're going to slice them into small slices. And now we are done with our dumplings. On to the next dish.
Now I'm gonna make you chakalaka. Mine is a bit different. I love Indian spices. I love Indian food. So it will have a lot of flavors from India. I love Indian spices. I also have got a ready-made, from the tin, the chakalaka ready-made one. So how do I start doing it? Is that I will put on I cook with coconut oil all the time. I don't compromise. Okay, now we're gonna put our onions. You can even have the 3-color Robert peppers in. Okay. So today we don't have the Robert peppers, but they will still maybe bend myself.
Listen, like my mom said earlier on, the reason why she's really in the kitchen is because it's too hot.
Hence I just burnt myself.
Some of us are used to burning. We burn everything.
Okay, we're gonna put in the spices.
Okay.
But you must be careful. It shouldn't burn because it will make you sneeze a lot. So just keep an eye over it so that it does not get to burn. Okay. I'm gonna add on beef or chicken stock.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. You can just crush it there. So now I'm gonna have to add my carrots.
And how many carrots did you grate here? It's like five. So I'm guessing that the canned chakalaka is just going to be added towards the end because it's already cooked.
Yes, together with your acha. Okay, there we are. We're gonna let it steam for 5 minutes. Okay. And then after that, we will then add on our peas. After the peas, then we will then add the chakalaka together with the acha because they are already cooked, and that secret salsa mix, it just completes it. After 5 minutes, you'll then realize that your carrots are almost ready to be dished out. So what you're gonna do is then put on your peas. So we're gonna maybe give it 2 minutes now. Okay. For the peas to
sit in there and take in also those flavors as well.
Steaming again. Then after that, we're gonna then add on the rest of the stuff. The pre-cooked
canned chakalaka.
We're gonna throw it in here.
Okay.
Then we'll put on any type of acha that one fancy.
Okay.
you're ready to go. And then my
Chili
secret.
salsa. Oh, this is going to be so hot.
So there's our chakalaka, best served a day later.
There's our chakalaka. Now we're going to continue with the rest of our dishes.
Okay, now I'm going to make a savory butternut, spinach with a bit of cream and feta on it. It's, I'm combining the salty and the sweet dish and creamy, you know, the sweetness coming from the butternut and the salty coming from the cream as well as the spinach.
Okay, let's get going. So show me how you do it.
Okay, we're gonna warm up our pan again. We are firstly going to fry our onions. You know, onions always brings great flavor from foods.
And how long are we going to fry our onions for?
Not even more than a minute.
Okay.
Then we're gonna put the garlic.
Okay. You just want, as soon as that fragrance just starts popping,
exactly. Then you add your spinach.
Opposed to using this spinach, can you use baby spinach not cooking it though?
The beautiful thing about baby spinach is that you can eat it either raw or cooked. So you can still steam your butternut and do the cream part of it, the onion and all that, and later on you throw in the baby spinach. And you can also even add the green, the red tomato, the red onion. Okay, now we're gonna close our pot and we're gonna steam the butternut. After that, for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we bring it back onto the...
Okay, now we're going to finish off our butternut and spinach salad, and then we'll be back to show you how we present it.
Okay, thank you. You can see that the spinach is still keeping the green because it's not overly cooked.
Drained.
Yes.
It smells great.
Just gonna help you.
Okay, here we go. Yes.
Okay. Because this is a savory dish, we are now gonna put vegetable spice.
Okay.
Then we're gonna add our cream.
And this is about like a half a cup of cream, 125 milligrams of cream that we're using here. So why do we add spring onion at the end as opposed to having fried it with your white onion in the beginning?
It's the same thing with the red onion. Spring onion, you don't want to cook it through, through and through and kill it completely. You still want to maintain the aroma of it. And it always tastes nice when it's right at the end. Okay. Now to finish it off, you can then add your any type of feta.
Now that my mother is done making her savory pumpkin and spinach, we're going to move on to our next dish, and she's going to add her feta cheese once we plate at the end. Yes.
Action.
Now what we're going to do is that we're going to add our... Now our next dish is our potato salad that went to a private school. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use seasoning spice... No.
Okay, now I'm going to use...
Cajun.
Now for my seasoning, I'm going to use Cajun as well as potato spice. And then I'm gonna add my pepper juice to the salad only at the end. We don't cook our pepper juice, we don't roast our pepper juice, we add it at the end. And then I'm also going to add our sweet snap peas as well as our baby corn. We're going to need some butter to fry these two. And then we're also going to need our seasoning. Actually coat your potato as well. If you don't, it's going to be those that are very bland. Now that is done, mix well. Now that my potatoes are well mixed, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this onto my pan and throw it into the oven for our sweet pepper juice. So what I'm going to do is add my potatoes to our bowl first. Now we're going to add the remainder of our veggies to our potatoes. Final thing to do is add our sweet pepper juice. You're just going to throw it over, and then we're going to mix everything using our salad mixing spoons. And that is it from my mother and I. I'm going to chase her away right now because she grew up eating the likes of your jelly and custard. I'm going to surprise her with my dessert. So it's the pro cook dessert. So I'm going to chase her away. For now, she will come back when we are going to devour our Christmas lunch. And she will be back when we devour our Christmas lunch. For now, mother, I love you. Thank you. But let me treat you with my dessert.
Thank you so much. Bye. See you in a short while.
Like I said, I'll be back by myself to make the desserts. Right now, I'm going to start off with our custard. What we're going to need is about 500 milliliters of milk, a few tablespoons of sugar, depending on how sweet you want it. I'm just going to have about 3 or 4 tablespoons, a cup of cream, about 1/4 of a cup of condensed milk, about 5 to 6 tablespoons of custard powder. And then for our mousse, we're going to need a cup of milk as well as a cup of our chocolate mousse. And now while we let our milk heat up in our pan, we're going to pre-mix our powder with the remainder of our milk. So to my custard powder, I added just about a cup of milk so that we have a runny consistency. Now I'm going to bring in my whisk to make sure that I don't have any clumps in my custard. Now that our milk is boiling, we're going to add our custard mix. I'm hoping that you can see that it's well mixed. You're going to want to mix in your custard mixture only when your heat is at a lower heat, and also making sure that whilst you're pouring it in, you are whisking, because if you don't, it's going to become clumpy. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to move it off my pot. I'm going to add my cup of cream to it. Bring it back. Now we're going to pour our custard into our bowl, that we're going to let it rest for about 30 minutes. We need this to be completely cooled off. And now for our chocolate mousse, we're going to mix our mousse powder as well as our cup of milk. Pour in your cup of milk first, followed by your mousse powder. You're going to mix this for an estimated 6 to 8 minutes at a very slow pace first, so that your powder does not fly out. And now that is it with our mousse. All we are left to do is put our mousse in our piping bags, which is going to help us put our mousse into our tart cups. And these are the tart cups that I'm going to be using for my mousse tarts as well as my custard cups. Our mousse tarts are now done, and on to the next one. Now our custard is well cooled down, and I'm going to show you my trick on how to make smooth, creamy custard. Now you'll see that it's well set. It's got that bit of skin on top. First thing is first, I'm going to blend it before I add half a cup of cream as well as 1/4 of a cup of condensed milk. And now our custard is ready to go into our tart cups. So I'm going to just use a normal tablespoon, which should do. And to top it off, I'm going to add just a little bit of cinnamon, and it's just going to literally complete our custard tarts flavor. And it's going to give you a reminder of actual milk tarts. It's just everything. Mom, it's time to eat and be merry.
Let's go. What's it mean then?
Mom, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope at home that you enjoyed my mother and I's cooking, and that you guys really understand what drives me and who is literally the wind beneath my wings. Mother, thank you. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell below, and also leave your comments. And don't forget, the Pro Cook loves you guys.